All right. All right. What's going on, Charles? What's going on, MK? What is going on with my TikTok live? What the heck did I do? Holy crap. One second, guys. What the heck did I do? Yes. What is going... What is... One second. One second. I gotta close these out. What is going on in my... I'm gonna have to get off. Okay, I gotta reopen TikTok Live. Hold up. What the heck was that? I couldn't see anything. Celine, what's going on? There's storm chasers in Kansas right now? I'm watching for a little spin up there. I don't think much is going to happen. Let's see if this works this time. Did it work? Why is my TikTok live all... Why is it all reset? What is going on? Was there an update and it messed with my... What is going on? There must have been an update. TikTok live is tripping right now. One second, YouTube. Oh, they were live on YouTube as well. I can't even see my... I don't know what TikTok did to to TikTok Live Studio, but I can't even see chat. I can't even pull chat out. Okay, I see you, Santi. What is going on? There we go. I think I fixed it. Messing with me. Alright. Well, why don't we take a look at our latest models? Why don't we? Everybody? Where's my glasses? Okay. Okay. Let's take a little look at some things. What's going on, Nick? Well, I was actually going to be on time today, but something happened. Personal stuff. I almost wasn't going to go live tonight. But then it was good. Don't worry about it. Supposedly it's supposed to storm tomorrow, best. It's supposed to storm every day. Every day. We've got severe weather in the forecast every day. Today, tomorrow, the next day, the next day, the next day. And we'll probably see these be added on as well. I think we're going to see big warnings on these days, too. We have another storm coming through. Okay. Let's look at our... There we go. 18Z of the euro. What are we looking at? We have an icing this weekend in Wisconsin. Possibly. We can take a look at what the models think. Let me see this. Huh. Very interesting. See this right here. has the potential to be more significant next Wednesday. And they don't even have the risk on there yet. Why are my I was gonna say why are my allergies back? I forgot it's spring. Things are a blooming. God, they're terrible. One second, guys. Minneapolis. Let's look at this storm up north. It's gonna be thunderstorms for Minneapolis most likely. You could get a little. You could see a little bit of an ice storm though, up there in central to northern Wisconsin. The back end of this wants to bring in on the Euro heavy snow into southeastern and central Wisconsin and north central Iowa. So that's interesting. One second, guys. Hello. Hello to all 69 people in here. Oh, 73. Julie, what's going on? Robin, I appreciate you. Sassy, what's going on? Okay, I'll start answering all your guys' questions. Can I take a quick look at what's happening with our jet on the latest NAM? Would you mind if I did that? Let's see. Let's look at our jet on the latest NAM. 500 millibar. I mean, directionally, it's good for severe weather. It's just weak. It's kind of broken apart as well here, you can see. Let's look at our low-level jet. Oh, my gosh. You guys are going to have some strong winds. Some strong winds Friday up in the Midwest and then out towards the Northeast. Let's look at the 925 of that. Winds at the surface. Winds at the surface through portions of Michigan, Chicago, Indianapolis, over towards Columbus, and northern Ohio. You could have, wow, strong winds. Let me actually take a look at that real quick. I will get the chat in a second. I just want to take a look at some of this. What are our wind gusts up there? Yeah, look at that. Friday evening, Saturday morning. You know, casual 60-mile-per-hour gusts. Casual. Yeah, that's gonna be windy, guys. That is gonna be windy. 60. Let's see here. Let me just take a look at this. How's our LLJ doing on severe weather timing? Saturday. This is the time I want to know. Still okay. I mean, 52 knots, 70-mile-per-hour winds. This isn't anything impressive. This is the least impressive part about our severe setup is our jets. Let's take a look at dew points. I just want to know how severe this is going to be, guys. Don't you? And then I'll get the chat. Dew points. This is a scary look right here. It's conditional. But you see this dry line, this dry line right here? We could see something through here. That's you get forcing. You get up. You get that upward lift when you have this moisture colliding with the dry air. Same thing when you have warm air colliding with cold air, and that'll be interesting. Saturday evening. But look at the dew points really start to jack up over into southeastern Missouri, southern Illinois, western Kentucky, southwestern Indiana. I mean, we get up into 66 in Indiana dew points, and then we're seeing potentially 60. We're getting almost really close to 70 dew points. Really close to 70 right through this corridor here. So let's take a look at one more thing here. Let's go into, am I in the NAM? I am in the NAM. Surface-based Cape. It's there. I mean, that's the dew points help with that, but interesting. Surface helicity. Nothing crazy. I mean, this is a little bit out of place, but that's because the jet's weak. Okay. All right. I'm ready. I'm ready for questions, chat. This is the last thing I'm looking at here. Last thing. Western Kentucky. Almost a 5.0 effective layer Sigtor per am. Okay. 20 supercell composite. Fix at 4.7. Velocity shear isn't much. I mean, again, the shear is just not much. This is an interesting looking photograph, though. This shows high helicity, 350 SRH down at the surface and 40 knot shear. That's actually a lot. So maybe we get something. Maybe we do get something in Western Kentucky there, Sigtor. All right, what's going on, chat? How's the weather going to be by me? That's a lot of helicity there, 352. How's the weather going to be by me Saturday morning? Let's see. Julie, what's going on, Julie? Cindy, what's popping? Let's check out Saturday morning for Julie. All right, here she is getting her beauty sleep, waking up, perfect day, and it looks like the storminess wants to stay to your north. Saturday afternoon, you could get a little rain in there, though. I'm not seeing it much severe weather. You know, there's some little discrete cells that want to skirt through. If you get unlucky, you'll get one of these little discrete cells going through your neighborhood Saturday morning. But you'd have to get pretty unlucky. It looks like overall it's going to be a pretty okay day. I wonder, we're in the Euro. Let's look at our cloud cover, even though it does a pretty bad job. Looks like it may be a mostly cloudy day. Although temperature-wise, what's our latest on the temperatures? Pretty hot. 70 degrees. Beautiful. Shocker. Yeah, right. Mostly cloudy. Chance of rain. It looks like you're probably going to be dry for the most part during the day, though. Okay, Young, I appreciate you. Cleveland, Ohio. Cleveland, Cleveland's in an interesting area. I think you'll be okay in Cleveland, severe weather-wise, but you guys are up there at the top of the slate right now. We'll see. EF0, EF1 isn't impossible. Some small hail up there on Sunday. Let's get out of this. Cloud coverage is so ugly. What is St. Louis going to be? Do you think St. Louis will be as bad? Do you think St. Louis is going to be like on Sunday? Sorry. Based on everything we see, it looks like to the south, most of the worst of it is going to be to the south. Again, I'll circle this area again, this region. St. Louis could get involved in this. we're gonna have a lot of these storms firing up right and really intensifying right around St. Louis. So it really depends. And I said this in last night's stream too. If this thing slows down a little bit and we get initiation just out ahead of St. Louis, you know, this area of concern could shift off to the west, the north and west. So the timing is going to be really, really close. You're really, really close to potentially being in an enhanced. I don't know if we're going to go moderate on this, but enhanced zone. Appreciate it, Julie. They don't call it the Windy City for nothing. Chicago, yeah. Northwest Illinois, Quad Cities for Northwestern Illinois is. Tanner, I appreciate that. Tanner Jaggers extended to a 3-month renewal subscription. Tanner, I appreciate that. Shout out Tanner. Seriously. Yeah, you guys are gonna have some thunderstorms up there. We don't have much of a severe threat for Northwestern Illinois. You've got a little bit of a marginal on your day 3, but a tiny little marginal tonight. We'll have to see if this goes to a slight on day 3 up towards northern Illinois, but right now it's not looking too intense. So you guys are gonna get some rain and thunderstorms, but. You can see that 998. This is where it's going to get a little windy and thunderstormy for you Sunday afternoon. Doesn't look to be severe, though. Fox 5 Weatherman says, if the storm hits Atlanta in afternoon hours, it can be bad. Santi, do you know why we don't want storms? Well, I think it's better than tornadic cells moving over you at nighttime, but do you know why it could be bad if it goes over Atlanta in the afternoon? Yes, Santi, heating. As it heats, we will see that cape. We will see those updrafts intensify and those thunderstorms intensify. More moisture will be being sucked up into those storms, and you can get explosive intensification of these cells in the middle of the day, especially if you start off the morning with a cap that wants to break. We kind of call it a loaded. I can't say GUN on TikTok, so a loaded pew pew. You guys know what I'm saying, GUN. We kind of call it that. So like if I were, let me see if I can give you an example. Let's see if I can give you an example. This might be an example here. So let me go to the NAM. Let me show you something. What am I on? The 18Z. Let's go into our SIG tour. We'll go into our surface base. Here we go. Let's see if I can find one of these examples here for you. There's no cap here. Is South Texas in it? No, you guys are dealing with some flash flooding, and you are in a 2% tornado. You are in a 2% tornado risk zone right now. That's what's going on with you guys. So this is a bad example. This is a bad example. Let's go over here. Wow, this look has really changed since earlier today. We had a capped look on a lot of these storms earlier today, and now I'm not really seeing it. Interesting. Let me go over to the SIG tour real quick. I want to show you guys something. Weather in Minnesota, it's going to be thunderstormy most likely for Minneapolis and south. It's going to be icy for icy and snowy from north of Minneapolis up to northern Minnesota. Wow, there's no cap on these. How is... Look at the 850 millibar temp anomaly Euro. I will. Specifically, chance of tornadoes, Western Kentucky on Sunday. Yeah, I think you guys are at least going to be an enhanced. Western Kentucky on Sunday looks a little bit sketchy right now, so we're paying attention to it. Nothing to freak out about, but there's a SIG-TOR potential there. Give me 1 second, guys. You know, this is... We'd have to go into... Yeah, our NAM's not really going to show this because of the timing. Out there. Memphis on Sunday. Memphis is... Okay, here we go. Memphis on Sunday. Memphis is in a very concerning area. Maybe even more than Western Kentucky. It's close in my opinion, though. So here's our parcel of air, guys, that we need to be... This red line is the temperature of our atmosphere in this given area as we go up in elevation. So this is the top of the tropopause. What's above this is the stratosphere. This is us down here at the surface. You see us here? I'll draw some stick figures. Here's us on Sunday drinking some beers, playing some cornhole in the backyard. See, we're playing some cornhole. This is us down here. And if you're, you know, as long as you're 21 and over. So this is about halfway up in the atmosphere right here. 500 millibar. This is what really where our main jet stream sits. And this is our lapse rate. What this means is if this parcel of air is warmer than the environment, meaning on the right side of this red line, then that parcel of air is going to be able to lift. It's going to be able to lift. And as it lifts, it's going to bring with it moisture that's going to condense, release latent heat, and fuel thunderstorms. So this parcel of air down here is lifting heat up into the atmosphere. Uh-oh, dangerous. Big thunderstorms are about to form. But wait, look what happens to our atmosphere at this level. It gets warmer than our parcel of air. So there's a cap. What happens? Okay, this parcel of air stopped rising. We're safe. No thunderstorms are going to form. But what happens if we push forward a little bit in time? This is actually not going to show me that. As the day warms up, what can happen with this parcel of air is this parcel of air can outheat the atmosphere around it. And suddenly, and this is why we call it a loaded gun, this cap snaps, right? This red line goes boom, down here, and you get a huge explosion of CAPE, convective available potential energy, and a lot of upward forcing. So sometimes when you have these cap storms to start off, well, I think typically when you have these cap storms to start off at the beginning of the day where you can't get anything, and that's why if you've ever seen on a radar, guys, when you're watching a radar and you're like this, when you're watching a radar and you're like, oh, there's nothing happening. Especially when you see it on the HRRR. Let me show you this. Especially when you see it on the HRRR. For instance, you'll see storms just start to spark out of nowhere. We don't really see a great example of it. Let me show you on the Euro. You'll see it on Sunday. Right here. You go from having this very just light rain showers in here, and then suddenly you get a boom, a trigger, big trigger of storms. A lot of times this has to do with the cap breaking, and then suddenly you have a rush of forcing up, and you have a maximum CAPE beginning to form here, and you get thunderstorms just sparking out of nowhere all over the place. This isn't a good example. 2 weeks ago, we had a great example of that where we had like 40 discrete cells pop up in the span of like an hour. So, that's what could happen in Atlanta, where you get this in the morning, you're not seeing much, and then suddenly, as we move forward, you kind of get a big. You're pretty clear going into Monday morning, and then this line starts to amplify again right here. Starts to kick back up, and that trough ejection starts to kick in again. So we could see an enhanced out there. I think we will see an enhanced out there along the east, up and down the east. I think we will. How is Houston on these upcoming days? I would say Sunday, pay attention. Sunday, pay attention. We could get some twisty boys down there on Sunday. So not guaranteed, but you are in the slight, and we could see that expanded even farther to the south. We'll see. What's going on, Tanner? What's going on, Venomous? Quickly, someone asked me to look at the 850 millibar temperature anomaly on the Euro. On the Euro or on the GFS? Was it the Euro? Does Killeen, Texas have a chance for a tornado? I always forget where that is. Is that like near Dallas or something? Craziness. Look at that. That's big potential right there for severe weather too. Wow. At the end of this Euro run. This right here. This right here. Look at this, like, look at this nonstop. Look at this. That could be severe. As we get out here, that could be severe. 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 This looks crazy. We are in a crazy pattern, guys. And then you've got snow that wants to go into southern New Mexico and into northern Texas. We'll see about that. And then you've got the Euro. What is going on, guys? Don't believe this. You've got the Euro putting snow into Atlanta, Georgia, April 9th, and possibly along the Carolina coast and into Virginia. I don't know about that. They're seeing a big Arctic plunge. So does the GFS, interestingly enough. Oh, what is going on here? Not as deep as the Euro. But, oh my gosh, it almost shows snow into New York City next Thursday. Okay, these models are doing some interesting stuff. I hadn't looked at the long range. I think they're over-amplifying that trough. I don't think we're going to see snow down in Atlanta April 9th, but it is something interesting. It's something interesting that's... It's an interesting signal there, so we'll watch it. I'm not betting on that though. It's not impossible. It's weirder things have happened, but I doubt it. It's pretty rare. And in Jeffrey, what's going on? What is this called? Pivotal weather. East Central Texas. Yeah, you guys are in this. You guys are in this day 5, or sorry, day 4 now. Right? Are you guys in here? That's going to be a Sunday afternoon to Sunday evening. Potential event. Southwest Indiana. Southwest Indiana is in that area that I think has a chance to go moderate. I don't think it will, though. I think it'll go enhanced for severe weather on Sunday. So have a way to get alerts. Zenith, what do we need for a negative in the PNA? Well, if we want cold weather out east, we'd want to see a positive PNA, and we'd want to see a big ridge building up over the west. If for a negative PNA, we'd want to see a big ridge building up out east. It's really what's just going on out in the Eastern Pacific. What about Russellville, Kentucky for Sunday? I don't know where that is. Russellville, Kentucky. Let's see. All right, so yeah, you guys may be in that enhanced region as well. It's probably going to be an active day around you on Sunday. Some large hail too. You guys might get put in a hatch hail. You guys. Or you'd be right on the boundary of that hatched hail. Gorilla hail. We'll see. The Cape's not bad. Do you think Middle Tennessee will go moderate risk Sunday? I still don't think we're going to get a moderate Sunday. I think we're going to go enhanced. It's hard to tell, though. You know, I'm borderline on if we're going to go moderate or not, guys. I'm pretty borderline. This is a tough one because You've got a lot of moisture moving over this region before the main severe weather event. You're gonna have some rain cooled air out ahead of this event. Our lower level, mid level jets aren't doing anything that's impressing me. The Cape's okay. The Helicity's pretty okay. And the dew points are good. But you just don't have the whole, you don't have the whole package. So we'll have to see if sometimes the jet does dig and amplify a little bit more, does kick in a little bit more, in the models as we get closer, and that would change a lot for me. That would change a lot for me on what I think is going to happen. So I'm really waiting on this HRRR to come out tomorrow evening. I think we'll have a good idea when we get that, or tomorrow afternoon when the HRRR comes out, and we can start seeing what's going on in Sunday afternoon. How bad is North Carolina going to be? North Carolina a big chunk of North Carolina could go enhanced on Monday. SBC dropped the slight in Texas and then had a tornado warning. Yeah, but they put a 2% tornado down there. Yeah, I don't blame them for dropping it. There is... Okay, this is actually... Let's talk about this really quickly, guys. We have a flash flood emergency in southern Texas. Harlingen and Weslaco, Texas. So flash flood observed, damage threat catastrophic. This is a particularly dangerous situation at 9:48 p.m. Central Time, which was not very long ago. 12 minutes ago, right? Local law enforcement reported multiple water rescues ongoing in multiple areas across southeastern Hidalgo, I don't know how to pronounce it, county. Between 4 and 7 inches of rain have fallen. Jeez, that's a lot. Additional rainfall, oh my gosh, of 1 to 2 inches. You guys could get 9 inches there, are possible in the warned area. Flash flooding is already occurring. Life-threatening flash flooding. Okay. Some areas that will experience flash flooding include Weslaco, Donna, Mercedes, Progresso, Llano Grande. I don't know how to pronounce these. I can't pronounce these. Weslaco East High School, Black Elementary School, Knapp Medical Center. You guys can read these right here. So this is pretty serious. It's observed, catastrophic. Same thing out here to the east. Emergency management reported swift water rescues underway in La Feria. Between 3 and 6 inches of rain have fallen. Additional rainfall amounts of 2 to 4 inches are possible in the warned area. Flash flooding is currently ongoing. These are the most dangerous hazards you can get. You get watches, you get warnings, and then you get emergencies. Ongoing catastrophic damage and catastrophic threat to life in some areas down here. So that's important to note. And it's still raining. So that's what's going on there. Okay, let me pull back out. Yeah, that's a lot of moisture down there. SBC outlooks for tomorrow. Let's look at what's happening as we get into tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, I don't know. I don't know if this goes slight. Why I don't think it's going to go slight is you've got no cyclonic motion up here. It's kind of anticyclonic, meaning you don't have air or winds, rushing in. You kind of have winds, upper level winds moving away from each other. So I don't think much is going to happen with that. I do think. Let's look at our day 2 risk categorical. Okay, well this is our day 1. So yeah, I'm not thinking much of it. They do have this marginal up here. I don't think this is anything to worry about tornado-wise. Just strong thunderstorms, possibility of flooding. Maybe you get. I mean, you could get a little bit of hail up there. Down here is different. Down here is different. It's always easier to get a spin up down here near the coast. So we'll see. Nothing's really impressive until Sunday. Greensboro, North Carolina. When will it hit us? Timing for North Carolina? Let's move this forward. This first round of weather isn't going to be much. You'll get some drizzles out of that. This is when things start to go downhill. So this is 15Z on Monday. So this would be around 9 a.m. on Monday, 10 a.m. on Monday when you get this line of storms. 10 a.m. through maybe 2, 3 p.m. out there in the Carolinas. So we'll say 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's kind of a middle of the day type of event for you guys. This is when we could see the possibility of some spin ups and decent sized hail out there. We'll have to see how these model runs progress. Why is Chicago not a marginal risk for the storms overnight? Model showing some bad storms. Well, because thunderstorms. Just because there's a thunderstorm, it doesn't mean that you're going to have the updraft potential for hail, and it doesn't mean you're going to have the wind shear and helicity to get rotation. So if there's not a major threat to hail, it's not a major threat or there's almost no threat for hail, no threat for tornadoes. Sometimes they'll throw it on there if they think it's going to be windy enough, but that would just be a marginal. Just because you have thunderstorms going over doesn't mean it's instantly going to get warned. So it's just you don't have ingredients there for severe weather, but you could get bad thunderstorms. So closer to southwest, southeast Michigan is relative safe. Yeah, I would say so, yeah. Tennessee on Sunday. Western Tennessee is probably going to go enhanced. Probably going to go at least a 3 out of 5 risk, maybe 4 out of 5, but I think a 3 out of 5. And we'll have some SIG-TOR potential in Western Tennessee. You could get a SIG-TOR central to Eastern Tennessee. It's just much more likely to be out west. Like I said, I've circled this area a few times, but this is a specific area we're watching out here. For our SIG-TOR potential. We'll see what happens with Eastern Tennessee, but you guys are going to get some rain cooled air before this main line moves through. I can hopefully not lose power and finish my college work. Like Chicago overnight tonight, I'm talking about some hail and winds possible. Are they? Let's look at the HRRR and see what we see tonight through Chicago. Let's go to severe weather, SIG-TOR. Well, first of all, let me do this. So yeah, you've got no. Wow, why is our SIG-TOR? What is going? Why is this putting massive SIG-TOR potential in the central Wisconsin? What? What is this? HRRR, what are you doing? 1 second. This jet is not going to spin a tornado up in Wisconsin looking like this. I don't know why our SIG-TOR is so high up there. The lower level's cranking, though. That's interesting. Wow. Okay, that really interested me. I lost my train of thought. Okay, yeah, Chicago. So Chicago, here we go. Yeah, I mean the HRRR thinks you're gonna have an EF3 on the ground in central Wisconsin. I don't know. I don't think it should be showing that. Here's overnight. The HRRR doesn't really have. Yeah, there you go. You have some storms moving through. So it does show some decent storms. Especially once we get around right here. This would be interesting. So this would be around 3 a.m. in the morning. let's look at a few things really quickly here. Let's look at our. Well, let me take a sounding out here. You've got almost unexistent Cape. That's an issue. That's almost unexistent Cape. So hail and tornadoes with Cape like that is probably not going to happen. You've got decent shear and helicity, but your lift out here is just not happening. So if we go to our surface-based Cape, there's nothing happening out here overnight. Nothing happening out here with forcing overnight. So that's why these thunderstorms aren't expected to do anything too significant overnight. Simple as that. Your convective available potential energy just is not there with those storms. On the reflectivity, they look pretty mean. I'm not gonna lie. So this is pivotal weather. No problem, Melissa. Can the risk for Monday go north towards western Long Island? You would like that, wouldn't you, gaming? It still could, yeah. It still could. Chicago Sunday night, it looks like you're going to be north of most of the severe weather right now. I think you guys might end up in a marginal. Gulf of Galveston going on a cruise this weekend. Out of Texas, there's a lot of thunderstorms happening out there this weekend. Those could be some rough seas. What's up for Minnesota? You guys are going to start getting pretty windy as we get into Saturday. Lots of thunderstorms moving through. Maybe you get a little back-end snow, but it looks like that's going to be to your south. Severe weather-wise, it's not looking too intense. I do think... let me look at our... Lawson. Let me look at our surface Cape as we get in. It does explode into Minnesota Friday night. Not much after that. Not too big of a story in Minnesota. It's gonna be some messy weather though. This is gonna be real messy for you guys. Saturday evening especially. Pray for Tornado Alley. This isn't really expected to be a Tornado Alley event. Appreciate follow subs, guys. Thank you. What about Vermont? you guys could get something good up there. You guys could get some good snow. You guys have been getting good snow all year. Look at this heavy snow central to northern Vermont. Friday night into Saturday morning. Not bad. Not bad at all. We're watching Eastern Oklahoma with this setup. North and Eastern Oklahoma Sunday. I showed this earlier, but I'll show it again. Look at this dry line that sets up right through Oklahoma here. Let's go to our NAM so I can show you this a little bit better. This is a very conditional severe weather setup. This could end up being worse than we expect. And I'm not saying it's gonna, but it just has the potential to be. I mean, look at that. See what I'm saying? It's a pretty significant dry line here. And you could have some forcing right out ahead of this. So... this region, Saturday night, Sunday morning, we could get a surprise here. Tornado-wise, hail-wise. So that's Saturday. I'd say this area's looking a little interesting. Let me go to... I don't think we have it. Okay, so they have this like up here. I think this should probably be shifted a little bit farther south like this, but we'll see what happens tomorrow. We'll see what happens tomorrow. So it has northern Oklahoma in this 2%. I think this could go farther south, and I think we could get a 5% in here on Saturday. But we'll see. Got a little bit of time. We got a little bit of time to figure that out. That's just what I'm seeing. I'm not always right. Sometimes I am. I've been doing okay lately. I'll be reporting as it happens in the snap. Where is that in Missouri? Fort Leonard Wood. South Central Missouri. Yeah, I mean yeah, I mean you're gonna be watching that Saturday into Sunday transition as well. You're gonna be watching that Saturday into Sunday transition. So here's getting into Saturday evening, and this right here. This right here is gonna try to cause a little havoc out through that corridor. That's what we were looking at out here. We'll see if this shifts a little bit to the east, but I think this Saturday, very late Saturday, early hours of Sunday, South Central Missouri could be an interesting spot to watch. You are in the slight Sunday. This would be an earlier slight for you on Sunday. So if we look at our timing here on the Euro, I mean, this is going to be your timing out here. It's more of an early morning, afternoon type event, whereas for a lot of the people out here where it could get a little bit worse, this is a Sunday evening event out here into the nighttime. But you kind of got a crossover there between two systems, because you're not just dealing with, in Central Missouri, you could be dealing with this dry line setup, and then after that dry line setup, severe potential, you're dealing with the actual severe setup from this low pressure up here to the north, trying to eject this trough out here and pull that moisture up from the Gulf. So it's kind of like a double whammy. You could see nothing, or you could see some effects from both in that area. Supercells are possible, yeah. Sunday, for sure. Driving U-Haul from ATX to Detroit. Am I dumb? What's ATX? Oh, Austin, Texas. I'm like, why am I? On what day? Oh, leaving tomorrow at 11 a.m. If you drive straight, if you can make it within 24 hours, depends which way you go. You'd probably want to go in a route like that. You're going to have some bad weather out here to your east. So not bad timing though. If you can make it probably under 36 hours. Probably not bad timing. You could even get sunshine a lot of the way. Where would the worst spot be on Sunday? Yeah, I've talked about that a little bit. I'm thinking western Kentucky, southern Indiana, southeastern Illinois, southeastern Missouri, northeastern Arkansas, northwestern Mississippi, and then western Tennessee right there. But that doesn't mean we couldn't see tornadoes up here. That doesn't mean we couldn't see tornadoes down here. This just looks to be very, very... you've got... The one thing that area has that a lot of these other areas doesn't have is a strong low-level jet pushing through here. Whereas it's not as... we don't see it as much down here. And then we're having a little bit of a Cape and dew point issue up here. right here's the sweet spot where it really looks like we have all of those ingredients. There's always a spot where all of the ingredients kind of come together. That area, yes, it could go moderate. I'm still thinking it's just going to go enhanced, but I want to wait until I see the HRRR tomorrow. Once I see the HRRR tomorrow, I will. There's a very high chance that I could change that answer. I'm just talking about based on what I'm seeing right now. Although lately the SBC has actually been, what's the word I'm looking for? They've been overdoing the risk zones, I think. You know, they've been putting risk zones into a moderate when I think they should have been, you know, into a moderate when I think they should have been enhanced, or an enhanced when I think that, you know, they definitely should have been slight. So knowing that is the only reason why I think it's going to go moderate, if it does, because they've been kind of out, you know, they've been kind of, I think, overdoing their risk areas. Nailix, I appreciate that. The big stick, I appreciate that. Shout out. Gem B, what's going on? Going through Meridian, Mississippi, then cutting up through Nashville. You're definitely going to drive through some thunderstorms. You're going to be in thunderstorms a lot of the way if you take that route. You know? They don't look very severe. So that's good news. Sometimes it's, you know, nice to drive in the rain. I don't mind driving in the rain as long as there's not too much traffic. But this isn't expected to be too severe. This is expected to be some thunderstorm soakers. So I don't think you're not going to be in danger of like large hail or tornadoes or anything on that route. So at least from what we can see, it doesn't look like it. Chicago area Sunday could have some messy weather. You're not expected to be too severe, though. Would you say a little instability or some instability for Long Island and New Jersey for Monday? It looks to stay to your south, but it's not impossible. There'll be a tiny bit probably up there. Gaming. A little bit, a tiny bit up there. We tend to see a lot more severe threat gaming mid-April to mid-May, because early in spring severe weather season, our dew points really struggle to get that far to the north. So you can see what these dew points are doing here. You know, these areas are going to have a better chance for that instability. And then as this moves towards the coast, really trying to get up towards our latitude, you get high 50s, maybe 60 up there. Is that a random 64? 61. You know, you want to get at least, you would like to see mid 60s for some very severe potential. But again, 61 up there in New York City, not impossible to see a decent severe weather up here. So we'll see if that holds. But it's hard, you know, early in the spring severe season to get those good dew points up north to help with that instability. You've got to have a jet that's really yanking that stuff up, which the big stick, I appreciate you. Which looks like it may happen with this system right out here. I think this one's going to be a beast right here. I think we're going to see some craziness with this. Let's look at what our dew points are projected on the Euro for this event next week, Wednesday through Sunday. Somewhere around that time frame. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at this. Look how high these dews are stretching. Look at this. Wow. Check out once it gets to the coast. 63, 64 in the 60s, all the way up almost to southern Vermont and New Hampshire. So mid 60s up there. Mid 60s up there around Long Island. So, yeah, you know, if this were to happen, look at that. 61 dew point up there. In Boston, oh my gosh. 65 in Connecticut. Look at this. Look at Alabama. Look at that. Friday. This would be a potentially big severe weather event. Crazy. Was that Friday? What is our reflectivity here? What does our future radar look like on Friday there? 1 second, guys. Next Friday. Yeah. We can see severe weather very far north here. This is like an interesting type kind of trough ejection happening right up there in the northeast. You can see big spin ups all along this boundary. We'll see. That's 190 hours out, so we'll see. Kansas City this weekend. Yeah, this is right here. This is that Saturday afternoon or Saturday evening into Sunday morning thing that we're watching out for. So Saturday night, Sunday morning, you could see some severe weather through Kansas. We do have this on our, our day 3. You are in a 2% tornado chance. You could go into a 5% in Kansas City. You could end up in a 5%. You could end up in a slight for tornado and hail. So that'd be really late Saturday and really early Sunday morning, so nighttime. When do you think you'll make that video to... I'll make it this weekend. Don't worry about it. I'll make it this weekend. I will make it this weekend. Let's see here. Yuli, appreciate the follow. Lori, appreciate the follow. So do you think they would add an enhanced risk tomorrow for day 3? Yeah, they could. Yeah, Santi. Yeah, they might, actually. Bet I can't wait. Cartier, don't tell anyone. Shasta, appreciate the follow. I know I missed someone. Minnesota Saturday, I don't see too big of a severe threat. It's just going to be some thunderstorms and potentially some really annoying mixing and some wind. What risk zone could Northeast Louisiana be in on Sunday? That's interesting because let's pull up where we are right now in the slight. Sometimes you'll see the enhanced right in the middle. I think if we go enhanced, we're going to see an enhanced up here. I don't know if we're going to get an enhanced down here. I think it might be a smaller enhanced. But it's not impossible to see a big stretched enhanced in here. We're going to get the HRRR tomorrow for the kickoff of Saturday and Sunday. And that's going to change the way the SPC looks at this, depending on how that comes out. So let's wait, but it's not impossible for you guys to get in that enhanced region either for Sunday. Will it be on TikTok or no? I'll post it. I'll post it on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. Where I'll give away all my secrets. So I have to be excited about the next storm? Yeah, Kimmy. The way it looks right now, yeah, if you want severe weather, that's your storm up there in the Northeast. That could be some like Dixie Alley type weather up in the Northeast there. We'll see. If that look holds, that's a big question. Looks like I'm clear on Sunday. Southern Ohio gets all the storms. Southern, you know, Cincy's in a very interesting location for this. We'll see. I use Radar Omega for like live severe weather coverage. And I'm going to be posting a video this weekend about my setup on Radar Omega. Stab Boy, appreciate the follow. Send the snow, but not the ice. Yeah. No one wants that ice. Our local weather stations aren't reporting on any severe weather. Ay, ay, ay. What are they reporting on? High school swim meets? Is your YouTube? Yeah, YouTube. It's Connor's Climate Corner on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Appreciate that, Cartier. I appreciate that. Yeah, I was typically doing 2 hours of live streaming a night. I've been down to an hour a night recently because, the goal is to do this full time eventually, but right now I still have a 9 to 5, and it's, let's just say it's not a 9 to 5. It's more like a 7 to 6. It's a lot of work. I got another kid. It's about to be born next month, but I'll probably have, even though I have my infant, I'll be on paternity leave. I'll probably actually have because my job is literally 60, 70 hours a week. I'll probably have more time May, June, July. Extend some of my streaming a little bit, get a little bit more videos out there. So I've got a lot of plans for content and sub-only stuff in my Discord and all sorts of stuff. Got lots of plans. And I'm working on some people with it. So I really want to grow this channel, this community, and get to know all you better and stuff like that. So I'm putting the Discord together and, try to be as educational as I can too while we do this. We can learn together. I've been studying this stuff my whole life, but I still learn stuff every now and then where I'm like, meteorology is complicated. Columbus far enough north to be out of enhance. It looks like it right now. Yeah. I wouldn't expect Columbus to go enhance. I wouldn't say it's a definite though. I wouldn't expect it to go enhance, but it's not an impossibility. Christian, that's crazy. I don't see this all on the news station. Tennessee this weekend, central to western Tennessee, I'd say, that's what I'm most concerned with. Eastern Tennessee doesn't look as dangerous. Not that you couldn't get some decent hail and tornadoes, but right now it's not looking as severe. So someone said, what's the red shading? So on here, this is pink's ice, the purple's mixing, blue snow, green rain. When you see the reds, on the radar, that's extremely high cloud tops. That's where you can get your most severe weather. Breeboo, how bad will the big stick? I appreciate you. How bad will Terry? I can't pronounce that, but I'll try to find it. The worst of the severe weather looks to stay to your south. You guys do have some SIG tours up there though. It's not impossible for you guys to get an EF2 in that area. Prebu EF2 plus, but I would say that the worst of the severe weather looks to stay to your south. We're seeing a pretty decent amount of CAPE up in this region. We're seeing a little bit of a SIG tour signal up here too. A lot of meteorologists are thinking this is going to shift a little bit south. So am I. But right now, it's still a little bit of a concerning area in that area. Appreciate it, Bree. Thank you, Bree. Minnesota. Snow in the north, ice in the middle, rain at the bottom. You guys don't have much of a severe threat. It's going to be a mess. Saturday into Sunday. We can look at our ice projections. I got to get off here in a second. One more long day and then the weekend. Let's look at our FRAM. Let's look at our ice projections. Not loving this look. Northern Wisconsin. That's some damaging ice. Up here in northern Michigan as well. Potentially down there. Northern upstate New York. And then we really got to watch that central to southern Vermont and New Hampshire. So inland Maine could see some decent ice as well. How is Columbus, Ohio looking on Sunday for severe weather? You know, right now, again, it looks like to the southwest it's going to be worse, but we'll have to see how things shift tomorrow once we get our super short range, the HRRR. So you need to be weather alert on Sunday. We could see some spin ups and large hail up there in Columbus. Right now, again, it's favoring to your south and west, the worst of the severe weather. So right now, I would bank on just some bad thunderstorms and not severe weather. But it's a pretty close call with you guys. You're in their 15% risk right now on the SBC, so they are expecting some severe weather in your area. Just following all our socials. Can't wait for the Radar Omega setup tutorial. Thank you for all you do, Connor. I appreciate that, Cartier. I really appreciate that. I like doing this. Sometimes I'm tired, but I still like doing it. I post every day and I stream every night. If I don't stream, it's like someone's birthday, family's in town, or like my power's out. It's usually doesn't happen. Every now and then I'll not stream on on a weekend night. Do something with my wife. What's Georgia looking like this weekend? Georgia's looking like it needs to buckle up Sunday night into Monday morning and into Monday morning and afternoon. You guys might go enhanced through a big part of Georgia. You guys could. Here's our. This isn't expected to be severe. This could, though. Monday morning and Monday afternoon across Georgia. You're in the 15% slight. You could go 30% enhanced. Okay, Saturday we're watching the potential for some spin-ups in Oklahoma, especially northern, central to northeastern Oklahoma. Thanks, Cartier. I appreciate that. I try to keep myself educated. Upper Illinois, again, the farther north you get, especially up near Chicago, your severe chances really drop off. You're probably going to see some thunderstorms and a lot of rainfall up there, but we're not seeing huge amounts of Cape up in that region. So the odds of any sort of big hail or super high cloud top, for a tornado aren't very high. Kentucky's a little sketchy looking. From Louisville down and out west is my biggest concern. But the whole state of Kentucky needs to be paying attention on Sunday. Southwest Indiana SIG Tour. There is some SIG Tour potential in southwestern Indiana. Let me take a look at this really quickly. Give it a second. It's loading. Something's going on with the site. This happens every now and then. I'll refresh it. Come on. Give me my SIG Tour. Oh. There we go. Here you go. Southwestern Indiana. 2.5. This is what I was talking about. Big SIG Tour just to the southwest of Indiana. I don't know if that's actually going to be there. I think that's slightly... We'll see. It could be. But almost 3.0 into southwestern Indiana. You've got a lot of things here going on here. You've got an effective layer, significant tour parameter of almost 5.0, which is good. You've got a pretty decent looking hodograph here. Pretty decent looking hodograph here. You've got directional shear that's pumping pretty good. Southerly to westerly. Velocity shear as well. You've got 299 storm relative helicity. That means you have rotation, a good amount of rotation at the surface. And you have surface shear of 31 knots, pushing 45, 50 miles per hour. So that's pretty good. Surface cape of 2400 projected. Fixed SIGTOR 4.1. This is interesting. And if this thing is capped in the morning, yeah, you can see what we have here. Possible hazard type PDS TOR, particularly dangerous situation tornado. So SIGTOR, EF2, EF3. I think this is going to shift south, but I don't know. We'll see if the HRRR agrees with this. Right now, southwestern Indiana is a little bit concerning. A little bit concerning. We have time to see adjustments on this, but, you know, that's an area we're watching. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, Dallas. Yeah, we've talked about this a little bit. I do think this region here is going to be our most active tornado region. Southwestern Indiana, southern Illinois, central to western Kentucky, central to western Tennessee, southeastern Missouri, eastern Arkansas, northern Mississippi, maybe northwestern Alabama. So, something to watch. We could Saturday night see an interesting setup through here with this dry line that's setting up Saturday. So this could be our big target. I don't think it's going to be a tornado outbreak, but Saturday into Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon into Sunday night. And then I'm watching a possible enhanced through this region Monday into Tuesday. So these three sections are my biggest concern. Not that you couldn't see a tornado or big hail outside these sections. It's 100% possible. This is just, I think, where you're going to see the most likelihood of something like that happening. You know, you could get something down here. You could get something up here. It's just those are the areas I'm really watching. Gaming, no problem. Gaming, I appreciate you always being in here. I'm still trying to grow my YouTube, so anything helps. Help my algorithm over there. Did I see there was going to be a hurricane in Washington State? Who told you that? No, there's no hurricanes in Washington State. I don't think there's ever been a hurricane in Washington State. It's impossible. You get what we call, well, they're not always bomb cyclones. For it to be a bomb cyclone, the pressure has to drop by over, I believe it's 24 millibars. Or the pressure has to drop more than 20 millibars within a 24-hour period or something like that, or 24 millibars within a 24-hour period. We do have a big cyclone spinning up off the coast. What happens, you get these big spinning cyclones out here, and they're different from tropical cyclones. These are because you have massive air boundaries, cold air from the Arctic colliding with warm air. That's, you know, you have the equator down here that rides up Asia and then spits warm water up here. So you have warm, humid air colliding with cold, dry air a lot up here. And that's why you get these massive low pressure systems. For it to be a tornado, it needs to be much tighter. These are just cyclones, large cyclones. For something to be a hurricane, you need very warm water. You need water temps of at least of a minimum of 74 degrees Fahrenheit or above. I promise you, your water's up here not 74 degrees Fahrenheit. So you get cyclones up there, and they slam into the coast. Sometimes you get bomb cyclones, and those can pack hurricane force winds as they move into the coast, but they're not hurricanes because it's typically hurricane force gusts, Cat 1, Cat 2 gusts, not sustained. Wish you could do these streams as your 9-to-5 job. I'm doing it anytime I can. Yeah. Hey, listen, that's the goal. The goal is, you know, whether it takes a year or 3, the goal is to be doing this full time. Because if I was, I would easily stream 3 to 4 hours a day and put out a couple videos a day, and then be able to engage Discord and stuff like that too. So the goal in the future is to just be constantly on here and not just covering weather, but educating about it too. Because I think I love answering questions about stuff. I want more people to be interested in weather. Dallas, I appreciate you. Do you think Central Iowa is the area you are watching this year? No, I think Dixie Alley is the area we're watching. I think specifically this region is what we're watching this year. But that's not to say we already saw what happened up here, but that's not to say we're not going to have a big tornado season out in, sorry, that was huge, out in Tornado Alley or Hoosier or anything along the coast. Again, that's just with the pattern we have, this area is going to be seeing a lot of moisture off the Gulf this year. But, you know, as we get into mid-April, we're going to see probably bigger severe weather outbreaks farther to the north. Iowa all the way out east, out towards the northeast. Yeah, Dallas is good tonight, yeah. You guys are chilling tonight. You got some thunderstorms rolling in, but you're not expected to be severe. You're in a general thunder for tonight. Thunderstorms overnight are nice, though, right? I just pulled a PDS in Western Kentucky for Sunday. Yep, there's PDSs in there's PDS soundings in Western Kentucky. Yeah, you can start off with the free version of Radar Omega. It pretty much offers everything you need. Get used to it on the free version before you pay for the other version. You don't get that much on the paid version, but you get enough that I have it. Yeah. Should we keep an eye on northwestern Arkansas? Yeah, you should. There's a pretty significant dry line setting out right to your west on Saturday. So Saturday night, I'd watch out in western Arkansas. Yep, northwestern Arkansas. I'm going to get off tonight, guys. Again, I will be posting an update on this tomorrow, and I will be streaming tomorrow. Again, I'm hoping to get in a 2-hour stream tomorrow, not an hour stream. And with my video tomorrow, I should have some, you know, I think I'll have the HRRR out to at least Sunday afternoon. So that'll be nice. That'll be really good. We may see an enhanced go for Sunday and Saturday. We'll have to see. I appreciate you guys being in here. Anyone who followed, subbed, gifted, anyone who's just in here hanging out with me. Sorry I couldn't answer all your questions. I probably answer a lot of them in my videos that I posted the last 2 days on my page. Like I said, I post every day, the updates. But I appreciate you guys. I'll be back on tomorrow. I'll be back posting and I'll be back streaming. Yeah, have a great night, Cartier, Santi. Everyone else in here, you know you are gaming. Have a great night, guys. I appreciate all of you. And happy Friday. Let's have a good weekend. Hopefully everyone's safe during this, but we're going to make sure everyone's as updated as they can.